this little red sit thing comes on,
Gotcha.
and then you click on here, the union. It takes a few seconds for it to...
It's like a little behind.
Yeah, and then the only thing to do, I know I keep saying only thing to do, is see how this, which is good, the sound is working, but when you hover over the screen, you just want to hit mute here, because then like there's a lot of feedback and like static.
Yeah.
And then I'll do the same thing here.
Cool.
Hi.
Hey.
You made it. Oh, I need this stand. Did he already ask you about? Yeah. Okay. Oh God. So, yeah, in the car ride home, or in the car ride here, he's like, "Do you think Chloe?" I was like, "I don't know." Hi, how are you? You finding all the things? Yeah, we'll start in a couple minutes. Hi. We'll use a blanket, strap for sure, therapy balls you can also grab, which are right next to the straps, and then 2 blocks. And if you don't have any of those things now, Kayla and I can bring them over to you as we start to practice. You want to sit here? Want to sit here? Yeah. Oh, is it hot? You're in a good spot? I still have yet to make a new playlist since so long, and I'm just gonna steal Mariel's. Yeah. No, I know. I don't think so, but I'm at the point now where I'm like, ugh. But I think hers is just gonna be sleepy the whole time, so I can't do that. Okay, doesn't matter. We're going to the same old one. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. Welcome back.
Oh my gosh. No lifetime.
One, two, three, four. Hi, Kyle. Good to see you. Hey. Hi. Good to see you again. Thanks for coming back. We'll start soon. We're waiting on, there's plenty of room for everyone to fit. We're waiting on 6 or 7 more folks. There's lots of room up here. But just in the off chance you see a couple of inches next to you to the right or left of your mat, you might slide a little closer so a mat can slip slide right in. Thank you. Because after years of teaching, I notice it gets harder to come up front the later you get, but that's usually what happens. So for those that don't want to come up front when they come in, we have some space for them. But we'll start soon with all of the props: blocks, blanket, strap, therapy balls, and we'll get some time to roll later on. Hot. A little bit. I think it's the lights. You are? Did Eric ever lock you down for cello? Okay.
I gave him my email address, I think. I was wondering if like maybe I spelled it wrong, but
No.
maybe I'm just like thinking.
I think him and Emma just started the beginner series downstairs, so
Gotcha.
I think everyone's brain is a little soup right now, so it's no, yeah.
I get it. It's all soup too.
Perfect spot. Lots of room. Take your time getting comfortable. Let's see. Have you taught live stream yet? Are your classes here? They're just.
I have at like the gym, and then I work in the city.
Oh, is it on Zoom?
It's on. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Really like weird.
Yeah. Okay.
It's also like a hard mic.
Like a Gwen Stefani mic?
Yes, I'm not a fan.
No.
It's just like cords in my face when I'm in downward dog. It's like weird.
Oh, the thing to mention today, if you can, while you're practicing, try and mirror them.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're facing them. Just for fun.
Yeah. No, I need to.
Yeah. Hi, Amy. Okay. Were there people downstairs when you came in? Some?
There's somebody coming in, but I'm not Erica's class too.
That's
so
true.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
That's true. The October of Chaos, where we have 2 classes starting at exactly the same time. Where'd you come from? Hi. All right. As people trickle in, we'll get started. I can see some spots that folks could slip into, but welcome. It's great to be with you all. October 1st. We made it. There's some new names to the studio, new names to class, new names to me. And if any of that is true and we didn't get a chance to officially say hi to each other, my name is Anisha, and we're so lucky each week to have Kale with us, who is assisting. And the way that class will look like today is that Kale will practice from the mat so that folks at home can have a visual, so that y'all can have a visual. And I'll be walking around the room teaching, answering questions, assisting. If you have any things that come up, please feel free to interrupt, call me over, and I can definitely help you out. But happy you're here. So as promised, last week, for those that have been coming, hi, come on in, that have been coming each week for the past couple of months, you might have had the teaser preview of what we're getting into for October. And if you didn't come, also totally fine. We start today, which is great. So on October 9th, I should have double checked the date, but I didn't. October 9th, and 9 days afterwards of this month, starts the 9-night, 9-day celebration of the goddess. I should have done this yesterday too. She's been hiding in her corners, so we got to bring her out for her birthday. But it is the 9-day, 9-night celebration of the goddess called Navratri, which celebrates the avatars and different versions of this divine feminine energy. So one of the studio is named after the 3 main goddesses in the yogic tradition. There's Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Durga, the warrior goddess, and how they all stay interlinked with each other. And so for the rest of the month, each week before class, I'll share a little mythological story and how it ties into our practice, and how these tales, these life lessons can still apply to us in the 21st century as we start to live in and amongst the city. I forgot the comic book today, but next week I'll remember it. I have a little comic of all of these stories and pictures that are really sweet to look at. But the story starts off, once upon a time, thousands and thousands of years ago, there was an evil demon. And in the comic, the very first picture of him is doing tree pose on top of a mountain. Like he's doing the yoga even in the mythology. And his name is Mahisha Asura. He's known as the water buffalo demon. And what he's doing is every day he's doing his daily yoga, his offerings, his penances, so that he can achieve the attention of the gods. And so finally, so much time goes by, and those that are in power are like, okay, sir, what is it that you want? We see that you're doing a lot of things to get our attention. What is the boon that you desire? And he says, I never want to be defeated. I never want to be killed. I want to be immortal. And the gods say, no, we won't give you that. So try again. What's something different? And he says, okay, I never want to be defeated by any man or any animal in the battlefield. And they say, okay, we can give you that boon, no problem. And so this demon takes this seeming immortality and begins to conquer and take over worlds. He consumes, he destroys, he creates havoc and chaos, and builds an entire demonic army. And slowly but surely, those that are in power realize their mistake and they say, uh-oh, what have we done? We don't know where to go from here. But if we remember it's the story of the goddess, there's already a little loophole. If he can be defeated by no man or animal, there is still a possibility of how he can be conquered. So the gods that are remaining, they call upon Durga. She's the warrior goddess, the mother goddess. She rides, if you ever want to come up and look at the statue of her, she rides on the back of a lion or a tiger in and out of battlefield. She doesn't have two, but she has 10 arms, and in each one of her hands, she's holding a different piece of weaponry, from a sword to a saber to a trident, everything that she can use to defeat the demons she encounters. So she emerges on the battlefield, and Mahishasura quickly, she starts to defeat this entire demonic army. And now the most evil demon, Mahishasura, he says, okay, I'm coming. She can't hurt me. I have seeming immortality. I will go and defeat her. And one of his powers was that he could also shapeshift into an infinite amount of different creatures. So first he comes onto the battlefield as an elephant and quickly attacks her. And very swiftly, she takes one of her weaponry and defeats him. And then from the body of the elephant, he transforms into another creature and comes at her again. And the story goes on, so much so that it's told that he shapeshifts into 108 animals, each of which she defeats. And finally, he turns into the water buffalo, and she comes and slays and defeats him. The end. Until next week and every Tuesday in October, where there'll be another demon causing chaos in the beginning of the story. But why am I telling you this now on a Tuesday in October in our yoga practice? And it's because these stories, first of all, mythology are lies that are told to find uncommon and unknown truths in our lives itself. So when you hear this story, you can definitely take it as, great, there was a warrior goddess who came to our aid, my personal aid on the back of a tiger, and defeated all the demons I encountered. But the other way to think about it is, while we might not have water buffaloes coming to attack us in the middle of the streets in Philadelphia, we do have people that cut us off in traffic. We do have people that send emails that you can't stop thinking about. We have people who, affect our inner worlds in ways that we don't expect. We also have wrist things, knee things, things that bring us here. And so while our modern day demons might not necessarily look like what they looked like in the mythology, they're very real. And the quality in the story of Durga reminds us is that you have the weaponry that you already need to defeat the demons that you encounter. And as yogis, your most powerful weaponry is going to be the fluency of your breath. It's there for you to help you defeat any demons you encounter, to ground you back into earth and reality, and to find more space than there might have been before. So today's practice, we're going to do the same series of poses over and over again, in repetition, in rounds, adding more things on top, just to see, not necessarily demonic poses, but to see how your breath, the weaponry that you have, can start to layer and create more space than there might have been before. 9 minutes. I know it felt long, but you'll have to forgive me for this month because it's my favorite time of year to tell stories. And I know that Larry, Brian, sometimes Mariel, not always, will get you right into practice. So if you want to skip me for the month of October, I take no offense. And I can see you in November when we'll start practicing right away. But we got to take the time because it's so good. It's so nice. It's so sweet to be able to share these and hear these year after year. Take breaks, sip lots of water, pace yourself, modify, take anything that you need. It's all the weaponry that you have to collect what you need to sustain. So we'll start today in a comfortable seat, however that looks for you. You can sit cross-legged, you might start lying down, you might be seated on your knees, or you might be up on props so that your hips can naturally be higher than your knees. And as you find your seat and let yourself arrive, let your eyes either close or soften so you can listen for your breath. When we close our eyes, it gives us a moment to see ourselves more clearly than ever before. To see all the versions of you that have existed before you walked in, the version of you that you are here and now, and the version of yourself you're making space to become into. So as you see these infinite versions of yourself in the seat that you've taken, can you begin to notice and listen for your breath? Let each inhale move from the nose down into your belly and up into your heart. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out through the very crown of your head, creating more space for more breath. Continue with a few more of those breaths at your pace, letting each inhale move in, back, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out in every direction of you. This practice, it's first and foremost an offering to that breath. Your most powerful tool in your arsenal to help you defeat any modern-day demon you encounter. So as we start our time and our practice here with each other, we'll start with 3 rounds of breath, followed by the sound of 1 Om, the sound thought to be made when the universe came into existence, and the sound that also reminds you with your voice, powerful, steady, and strong, can be combined in harmony with all of those around you. Feel free to just listen or sing along if you'd like. But when the time comes, draw your hands to anywhere that feels like center for you, on your body or in front of your heart. As you wait for your next breath in, let it fill you up. And exhale to let that breath go. 2 more times on your own. Inhale in for Om. Keeping that connection to yourself as best as you can. Let your hands release. Slowly blink your eyes open. And let's come to tabletop today to start to link movement and breath together through a few rounds of cat and cow. So here in your table, bring your hands as wide as your mat if they're not already. Let your index fingers point straight ahead towards the front of the room. That'll feel like you're fanning your hands out even slightly. And with your toes tucked under, feel the arches of your feet back behind you. Now, if you haven't begun to, you can start to round and arch your spine through a few rounds of cat and cow. Let's be here for 5 rounds of breath, just working on your own. It might feel good to stay rounded or arched for a few extra breaths. You might take a few breaths moving forward and back from child's pose and letting your shoulders come forward over your wrists. But take this time for another 2 cycles to not just notice how your body moves on its own, but how your breath and your body really harmonize together. When you find your next exhale, come back to table, find your neutral spine. Watch for any props or your friends behind you as we come in for a calf stretch. With the hands where they are, stretch the right leg back behind you, tuck the right toes under, and reach back through the right heel. And just notice what you feel in the back of your right leg. You might stay still, you might move the heel slightly forward and back. Maybe you feel some new sensation. But let it be an offering to your breath, a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And then switch sides when you're ready, bend the right, stretch back through the left. And as that heel goes back, maybe it stays still, maybe it gently moves forward and back. but think bottom of your heart forward so all 4 sides of your neck grow longer with breath. After a few breaths on the second side, come back to table. Walk your hands a handprint forward of your shoulders, walk your knees back behind your hips, and as you tuck all 10 of your toes under, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take as much time or as many breaths as you need to find your way there. You might pedal your heels out one at a time from side to side. You might straighten or soften your legs. But just take notice of how your hands are feeling. Do the wrists feel heavy? Do you feel the weight falling to the outer edges of your wrists? Can you press into the fingertips, the knuckle under your index finger so much that it feels like your wrists could get lighter up off the earth to clear space? Now a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And at the bottom of your exhale, lift your heels high, soften your knees, look forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your hands to come into your forward fold. You might have blocks underneath your hands so the floor comes high up to meet you. You might widen your feet an inch or 2 or soften your knees, all in service of giving your low back and hips some extra space. But as you bow in towards yourself, take a tiny bend in your knees so that they're not locked. If it feels okay for your head and your shoulders, maybe even gently nod your head yes, or slowly nod your head no as your fingertips tap the floor or blocks, letting the upper back get heavy to the earth. Now climb your hands up to your hips, stand down through your legs, and a big breath in to come all the way up to rise as you release your hands by your sides. With your feet under your hips, wait for your inhale to reach the arms forward and up to get tall. On your exhale, soften your knees and fold over your legs. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen, hands to shins or blocks as you reach the chest forward. And on your exhale, step it back to plank pose. Find the top of your push-up. With your knees up or down, really press into the fingertips. Think tailbone towards your heels, and now slide your heart forward as you take a big breath in. And on your exhale, bend your elbows to lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale to rise for cobra or baby cobra. Really press the pinky toes down into the earth. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog or tabletop or puppy pose for 3 slow, steady breaths. Slow down the next breath in and offer your exhale out through every fiber, every direction of your being. And as you push down and forward through your hands, lift your hips up and back to the wall behind you. And now lift your heels high, soften your knees, look forward, and come forward to the top of your mat, your standing forward fold. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. Let the balls of your feet be heavy. And exhale to fold, bowing in towards yourself. Take a long breath in to rise. Stand through your legs, sweep the arms up overhead. And on your exhale, release. Let the hands come down by your sides. One more time, follow your breath more than my voice. Inhale, the arms reach up, get tall. As you exhale, soften the knees to fold over your legs. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. Let the chest reach forward. And on your exhale, we meet in plank pose. Step the feet back. Take a full round of breath in. And as you exhale, lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to rise for cobra as you hug the shoulder blades together. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog or table or puppy pose. 3 slow, steady breaths. Let each inhale move from the nose into your belly. And each exhale offers itself out through every direction of you. In the story next week about the goddess, there's an image in the comic where she's interacting with another entire demonic army. And she says the word hum, just makes the sound hum, and the entire army dissolves into a puff of smoke. So the power of breath, can you feel it here as you take a longer breath in and a deeper breath out? And at the bottom of your breath, lift your heels high, soften your knees, look forward, and come forward to the top of your mat. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. And on your exhale, fold and bow in. Wait for the breath as you rise. Stand through your legs, reach up, touch the sky, get a drop taller. And on your exhale, bring your hands down by your sides. Palms to your thighs, bend your knees and sit your hips back. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Check to see that your toes are pointing ahead, your knees are pointing in the same direction. And now without actually moving your feet, can you try and squeeze your heels towards each other, towards the middle of your mat? And let the knees stay tracking over your second toes as you sit your hips lower. You might feel more of the outer hips. Now push into the legs as you lift your chest. Stay here. If you want to add some heat to the arms, you can reach the arms up to the sky, but offer it to your breath. Take a deep breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Let your hips get heavier to the earth as you lift your heart up to the sky. Take one more breath. Fill the belly. Fill up into the top of your chest. Stay for one more exhale. Sit a centimeter lower down to the earth. And now inhale to rise. Grow tall. Reach up. Touch the sky. And on your exhale, fold, bowing in towards yourself. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot back to catch your lunge. Bring your hands up onto fingertips or high up on blocks on either side of that right foot. Good. As you lift the back heel and thigh higher up off the ground, keep your left hand on the floor and bring your right hand to your right hip or to your right thigh. We'll start to twist open to the right. Shrug your right shoulder up and back. Slide the ears back. You can stay here or maybe that right arm reaches to the sky, but offer it to your breath. Take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhales. Can you tack your right hip back and lean back against yourself as you slow and steady your breath down? Inhale to unwind. Lower the hands to the earth. Step it forward with all the hops you need for the left foot to meet the right. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. And on your exhale, fold and bow in. Bring your feet a fist or two fists width distances apart. And now as you bend your knees and sit your hips back one more time, Utkatasana. Maybe hands to thighs to clear space in the low back, or arms come overhead by your ears. But as you let your hips get heavy and lift your heart to the sky, can you slide the ribs back to steady the middle of your back? Slide the ears back to lift your chin. And then if your arms are overhead, maybe the arms come back in line with your ears to broaden through the chest. Take one more breath in. Stay for your exhale. Sit 1 inch lower to the earth as you lift your heart up to the sky. And then inhale to rise. Reach up, touch the sky. And on your exhale, fold, bowing in. See, not a water buffalo, but maybe a second round of chair pose might have you talking. So left foot forward, right foot back to catch your lunge. Come high up onto blocks or fingertips on either side of that left foot. And now with your right hand down, left hand to your left hip, can you tack your left hip back towards the back of your mat and shrug your left shoulder up and back. Stay right here with the hand on your hip, or you might reach that arm up to the sky, but lift that back right thigh higher up off the earth. And as you lean back against yourself, bend into the front leg. Take a big breath in. Stay for one more exhale. Let your belly button turn open to the left. And then inhale to unwind. Lower the hands to the earth. Step it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels one at a time. Notice what you feel and see. Any difference from side to side. And now on your inhale, take your time. Come forward to plank pose. Let the whole breath carry you forward. Exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for the inhale to rise. For Cobra, press the pinky toenails down as you hug your shoulder blades together. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Slow down your next breath in and clear the next exhale out. And as you wait for your next inhale, float the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your back heel to the floor. And on your inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, facing the long edge of your mat. That's it. Check to see that the right knee and toes are pointing straight ahead. And as you look away from the ground, stretch out through the fingertips and lift up through the heart. Now, warrior pose, it's as if you're riding on the back of that metaphorical lion or tiger into battle and you don't want to fall off. Can you hug your legs in towards each other? Pull the right foot back, hug the left foot forward. Now, as you look away from the earth, take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale and bend 1 more inch into that front thigh. Now the legs stay the same. Inhale to reach just the arms up to the sky. Bend your right elbow, give yourself a pat on the back, and let your left fingertips hold on to the elbow. Think elbow to the ceiling, get taller, and gently press your head back to lift your chin. Can you slide the ribs back as you press your head back? And now listen for that breath. Take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Grow 1 inch taller to the sky as you bend into that front thigh. Now release those arms out to a T. Push the right leg straight. Take a big breath in, get long. And for triangle pose, bring your right hand to a block or the floor on the outside of your right leg for today. The higher up you come onto that block, the more space you might feel in the bottom right side of your waist, which is what we're looking for. But as you keep the right knee and toes pointing straight ahead towards the front of the room, give the legs a pull in towards each other. And as you hug the legs in together, push straight down into that right arm and reach the left arm 1 more inch to touch the sky. Nice, friend. See if you can turn these toes to face straight ahead. And then tiny bend in the knee. Good. And now pull the legs together. Perfect. Take 1 more big breath in. Stay for your exhale. And then inhale to unwind. Lower the hands to the ground. Bend your right knee and take it back to downward facing dog. Give yourself a moment. Take notice of what you feel from one leg to the other as you pedal the heels. And notice what you don't see with your eyes, but you can more than clearly feel. And now second side, float the left leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the floor, and on your inhale, rise, warrior 2 on the second side. Good, with the left knee and toes pointing straight ahead. Even look down at your left foot. And without actually moving it, can you squeeze your left heel 1 inch to the right and then guide your left knee open towards your second and third toes? You might feel that more in your left tush. Now look away from the ground, reach out through the arms as you offer it to your breath. Take a big breath in, stay for the exhale and bend 1 more inch into that front leg. Now keep your legs steady as you breathe in, just reach the arms to the sky. Bend your left elbow, pat yourself on the back, and let the right fingertips hold on. How much taller can you get? Elbow lifts up. Gently press your head back so there's space in the throat for breath to come in. Ribs back as you press the head back. Take a big breath in. Stay for 1 more exhale and bend into that front thigh. I know. And now inhale to release those arms to a T. Press the left leg straight. Get long in each direction. And for Trikonasana, left hand to your block or to the floor on the outside of that left leg. Good. Once the left hand taps something solid, turn that attention to your feet. Can you squeeze your legs in towards each other from front to back? It'll steady the ground beneath you. And as you hug your legs in towards each other, shrug the shoulders up and back. And then lean back against yourself. A bigger breath in and a longer breath out. Now on your inhale, unwind. Lower the hands to the earth. Bend your left knee. Take it back to downward facing dog. And give yourself a moment or two to offer it to your breath. Now inhale, last time together. Come forward to plank pose. And let's meet on our bellies. Lower all the way down. We're going to do some locusts. So as you lower all the way down onto your belly, stretch your arms alongside of you, flip your palms to face the floor. We'll lift up into locust in a moment, but before we do, hug those inner thighs towards each other. They don't have to be anywhere near touching, but squeeze the inner thighs in. Now shrug your shoulders to the ears, hug the shoulder blades together. As you inhale, lift your head, lift your heart, lift your arms up off the earth, and exhale to let the legs lift up and away from the ground. As you lift everything but your hips, close or soften your eyes and really listen for your breath. Can you hug your inner thighs in towards each other? Lift the inseams of your pants up towards the sky. And as you hug the shoulder blades together, lift your palms 1 more inch. Big breath in. And on your exhale, release. Lower all the way down. Make a pillow with your hands. Rest on one of your cheeks or on your forehead. And really listen for the full depth of your breath. Can you feel how the more you breathe into your belly here, the more space you can find in your low back that's touching the air above you? The more you breathe up into your chest, the more space you might feel in the back of your heart. And so now if you're on a cheek or on a palm, turn to the other side and take one more full breath, breathing from belly to heart into the sides and back of your waist. Now after a few breaths here on the ground, bring your hands to either side of your chest, press yourself up through to tabletop, and from all fours, take a breath or two here. We'll come in for the first of the thigh stretches. So drink some water, shake it out, take what you need. The fans are on, the AC is on. It's gonna cool off, but there's also method to the madness. We get warm so we can go to where we're going. So in tabletop, you might have a blanket underneath your knees if you want some extra padding, and maybe you have your blocks close by as we come in for a thigh stretch. So as you find your way to all fours, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand to come into that lizard lunge variation. Check to see that your left back knee is not directly under your hip, but slightly behind it. And now with your hands on fingertips or blocks, hug your left knee forward, bend your left knee and lift your left toes up off the ground. You can stay here, or with your right hand down on the floor, reach your left hand out and around to hold on to the left foot. Good. As you're going to child's pose, can you look at your belly and try to send your left butt cheek back towards your left heel? And as the left butt cheek moves towards the heel, you'll feel the fabric of your left pant leg soften. And now shrug your left shoulder up and back. Shrug the right shoulder up and back. Stay here with your right hand down, or if you want to play with some balance, the right hand can climb up onto your right thigh, or you might reach the right arm up towards the sky by your ear. Offer it to the breath. Take a deep breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Can you bend into that right thigh as you lift your gaze away from the floor? And now slowly, with care, release the hold of your leg. Plant your palms. Take it back to tabletop. Find your way to your hands and your knees. And a few breaths here. You might take a few breaths in stillness or cat and cow. You feel that in the right thigh? Left thigh? Okay. Audible yeses. Let's do the other side. Left foot to the outside of your left hand for that lizard lunge. The higher up on blocks you get, the more space you'll feel in that right thigh. So as you come onto your fingertops or blocks, hug your right back knee forward, bend your right knee and lift your right toes up. Now think butt back towards that right heel. Yes, just like Kale's doing, butt goes back. And now maybe your left hand stays heavy as your right hand reaches around for the foot or a strap or the leg of your pants to feel the right thigh. Now as you send the right butt back, slide the ribs back and notice what that does in the right thigh. Shrug the right shoulder up and back, and now see if you can look away from the ground. Stay here, or maybe the left hand climbs to the left thigh. Maybe it reaches up overhead as you take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Bend into the left front thigh and lift your heart up to the sky. Now inhale to slowly release the hold of your leg. Come on back to all fours in tabletop and take a few rounds of cat and cow here to link breath and movement back together again. We'll be on our hands and knees just for a moment longer, so if you want some padding, feel free to grab it. But as you find your way to all fours, walk your hands to come as wide as your mat. I know some of us have longer mats than others. Just take up that space and walk them one handprint forward of your shoulder so that their hands aren't directly underneath you. Now in that first calf stretch we did, stretch your right leg back, tuck the right toes under, and now swing your left heel to the left as you pivot your right heel to the floor. We're coming into this version of supported side plank. With the whole back foot down on the ground like warrior two, your right hand can climb up onto your right hip. Now look down at your left hand. Can you push your left palm down and forward and use that to turn your belly and chest open to the right, maybe to the sky? Stay right here, or if you want to play with some more balance, you might start to lift that back right foot up off of the floor. Flex the right foot, straighten the knee, reach back through the right heel, and now think chest forward to the front of the room. One more thing to add, you might stay here or bend your right knee, and like you did in the thigh stretch, reach your right hand around for the right foot. Now think right thigh towards me, towards the right side of your mat. And as you push your foot back into your hand, let that revolve your chest open to the sky. One more breath in. Stay for your exhale, beautiful. And then inhale to long limbs, release arm and leg. Lower your hand and knee to the earth and feel gravity beneath you. That looked great. Any questions? Because we're gonna do it 3 more times. The demon that keeps shape-shifting. If you have questions, feel free to ask, because I guarantee you yours, someone else probably has. But when you're ready, if you'd like, tabletop. One more time, we come to the other side. Check to see that your right hand is all the way off to the right and slightly forward of your right shoulder. Now as you stretch your left leg back behind you, swing your right heel to the right, kickstand, and pivot your whole left foot to the floor like you did in Warrior Two. Stay here for a breath. Push that right hand down and forward, away from you, and let that revolve your chest open to the left. Slide the ears back to lift your chin. Stay here with that back foot on the floor. You'll find lots of steadiness breathing. If you want to explore that balance, lift that back foot up off of the earth. Try to keep the legs straight for a moment. Reach back through that heel. Stretch your heart forward. If you want to come in for the thigh stretch, bend your left knee. Reach your left hand back for the left foot. And now instead of swinging the left leg back behind you, press your left thigh forward towards me, towards the long edge of your mat. And then kick your foot back into your hand and let that revolve your heart open to the sky. One more breath in. Stay for your exhale, and then inhale to release arm and leg to the earth. Take it back to all fours, tabletop. Take a, yeah?
Strengthening. What can we do for like the outer hip cramp?
Bottom leg?
Yeah, on the standing leg.
Yeah, so to Leo's point, we won't do it again on the knees, but if you had that with the bottom knee down, that butt cheek started to cramp up, we are gonna roll the butt cheeks out later on, so there'll be some space. But the ways that I found are, instead of directly bringing the knee like at a 90-degree angle, shortening that angle a bit to help alleviate the angle on the wrist. Also, you were doing it already, but hand on a block to lift you higher, and then bringing this leg, not hip height, but slightly lower, but trying to straighten it as much as you can. Yeah, anyone else feel butt cramp, outer butt cramp? Me too. I wasn't even doing it, but I felt it in solidarity for you. So take a breath. Let's do some hip openers. Come to all fours, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. I know. Sympathy, outer hip cramp. Take a longer breath in and a deep, steady breath out. Now as you push down and forward through your hands, lift your hips up and back and let your head get heavy between your arms. Now on your next inhale, lift the right leg up and back. Step it through to catch your lunge. Wait for your inhale to come up to high lunge. Reach the arms, the chest, and the torso up to the sky. Now walk the right foot as much as you need over to the right side of your mat, so you're less on that balance beam, less on the tightrope. But feel your back leg. Lift your back thigh higher away from the ground. Lift your back heel to the sky. And as you reach up through the fingertips, look away from the floor. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale and bend 1 more inch into that front leg. Now hands come to your hips. To balance, spring off of your left foot. All the hops you need to come up to stand. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Sit your hips back like you're going to chair pose as you reach your heart forward for standing figure 4. Your hands can be on your hips. They can come in front of your heart. But instead of sitting straight down, can you think a hinge? Think butt to the back of your mat as you reach your heart forward. Take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Look away from the ground as you lift up through the chest. And now inhale to come all the way to stand. Lower both feet to the floor. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Grab your left wrist. Grow 1 inch taller and tip up and over to the right for standing crescent. Take a breath here into that left side of your waist. And as the ribs move back, you slide the ears back. Maybe your arms come back in line with your ears. Inhale to come all the way back up through center. Touch the sky. Get a drop taller. And on your exhale, fold as you bow in towards yourself. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk your feet to the back of your mat and take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels one at a time and notice what you feel. You can stay right here for a few breaths. You might lower your knees to the ground and take a few breaths close to gravity, or you might let your breath take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together already. But a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Let your next breath or two bring you back to your downward facing dog. If you're not there quite yet, no rush. We got that other hip to address. So when you find your way back, take a big breath in to lift the left leg up. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Wait for your inhale as you come up to rise for high lunge. On the second side, reach up, touch the sky. Good, again, walk the left foot as much as you need over to the left. But really feel that back thigh in space. Lift the back heel thigh high. Stretch up through the fingertips and look away from the ground, even an inch higher. Take a big breath in. Stay for the breath out and bend one more inch into that front leg. Now your hands can stay up overhead, or you might bring them to your hips as you come up to stand. Spring off your right foot. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Think hips to the back of your mat as you reach your heart forward. Flex that right foot as much as you can. And as the hips get heavy and you lift your heart, slow and steady that breath. Each inhale moves in, down, and wide. Each exhale offers itself up and out in every direction. And now inhale to come all the way to rise. Lower the right foot, reach up, touch the sky. Grab your right wrist. And as you grow up and over to the left, second side. There you go. As your hips, they might sway off center over to the right. But as you tip to the left, slide the throat and the ears back. Maybe those arms come back in line with your ears. And now inhale brings you all the way back up. Touch the sky. As you exhale, fold and bow in towards yourself. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Step those feet all the way back to the back of your mat and take it back to downward facing dog. Okay, one more thing to try out before we catch a moment of rest. From your down dog, check to see that your left hand is as wide as the left side of your mat. And now pivot both heels to the right and turn all 10 toes to the left. Step your right foot halfway forward towards the middle of your mat. So that top foot, are we all going different directions? What's happening? Okay, let's turn to the brick wall. I'm like, oh no, what happened? Come back to down dog, take a breath, and we'll start again. The demons of rights and lefts, they will always get me. A slow breath in. Okay, the left hand, look at it. That's the one to the left. Pivot your heels to the left and all 10 toes to the right. There we go. And now step your top right foot halfway forward in between your hand and foot. That's it. Right hand to your right hip and turn open towards the brick wall. Yay, okay. Push down through your feet, lift your booty up to the sky. Push down through your left palm and turn your chest open to the right. And as you slide the ears back to lean back, stay here, or maybe the left arm reaches up to the sky or overhead towards the floorboards in front of your mat. One more breath in. Stay for your exhale, and then try and complete the arc as you lower the right palm down and step it back to downward facing dog. Take a breath or two and notice what you feel. And let's do the other side. So with your right hand as wide as the right side of your mat, pivot both heels to the right and toes to the left. Now step your left foot halfway forward in between your hand and foot. And as you push through your feet, maybe your left hand stays, maybe it comes to your hip. It might reach up to the sky. But push through your feet. The hips want to drop to the ground. Lift them higher up to the sky. And as you lift the hips up, push the right palm down and forward and turn your belly open to the right, maybe to the ceiling. One more breath in. Stay for your exhale. You might start to sweep that left arm overhead and then lower the hands to the ground. Take it back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, stay here and breathe. You can lower your knees to the ground and take a few breaths in child's pose or tabletop, or your breath might take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together already. Slow down that breath in and really offer the exhale out. After a few breaths, when the time comes, we'll meet back all in tabletop. You can sit back onto your heels, sip some water, take a couple of breaths. Warm. We did 2 out of 3 of the series. We're going to do it one more time and then lie on our backs and do some twists and roll. But the beauty of doing poses in repetition, we've done a lot of the warrior twos, we've done a lot of the side-facing poses, we're going to string them all together now, is that when both feet are on the ground and you're facing the one direction, even when your orientation to gravity changes, meaning like warrior two to triangle to this guy, yeah, all facing the same direction, the steadiness of your feet on the ground will give you more space in through the chest. So I say that now because what we're going to do next is lifting one foot up off the ground. And so it gets wobbly quite quickly, but there's lots of options of where to go towards. So you want to show it, and I can talk you through it. It's warrior two to triangle to half moon to Chapasana with a thigh stretch to side plank. Gotcha. Okay, I forgot what it was. So Kale's going to show it. I'll talk you through. You can watch for a second, catch your breath, and then you get to decide what direction you want to move towards. Because the beauty of these poses, we've done them already in different variations, so you can feel where you want to play and experiment. So Kale's going to start off in down dog, feeling hands and feet steady against the earth. And then the right leg can lift. Is your right leg your favorite leg? Sure. Okay, great. The right leg can lift up off the ground. Right foot steps through to lunge, and we meet in warrior two. So as she spins her back heel down, the arms come out to a T. So we did this before. The things I want you to take notice of is that front foot. What sometimes happens as we start to get less weight bearing is the front heel turns in and out, and that's when, to Leo's point, you might feel some stuff happening in the upper right butt cheek. But you start, Kale's going to come to triangle pose next. The leg straightens, fingertips tap the block to the outside of the right foot, and you find a few breaths here. We're going on turbo speed. But then to go to half moon, top hand to your hip. She walks that block way far forward and off to the right. And as she leans into the block, this leg lifts up off the floor. Now, I won't let you fall over. The things that happen, see if you can bend this knee and turn this heel. Yeah, see how the heel wants to turn out? You turn this heel forward, and I promise I won't let you fall. The tendency of what happens is this leg wants to swing back behind. And then we get weebly. Sorry to keep you there. What we want to do is reach this leg forward towards your friend in front of you. And this way, this inner thigh can lift up to the sky. And then if she wants to, you doing okay? You bend this top knee, reach your hand back for the foot like we did when the knee was on the ground. This way. The thigh presses forward, the foot kicks back, and that action lets her chest spin open to the sky. When the thigh goes back, it gets weebly very quick. And then she releases the leg, beautiful, comes back to down dog, taking your time. You can rest here, or the next stage, which we just did, is with the left hand as wide as the left side of your mat. She'll pivot both heels to the left, toes to the right. The hips will lift high, and maybe the right hand comes to the hip or reaches up overhead for Vashisthasana. And now options, this foot can step in between, like you did a second ago. It can also lift up off of the ground, and she can hold the knee or the foot or the ankle as she turns the chest open to the sky. And then when she's done, beautiful. She comes out, rests, and finds her way back. Thank you, honey. Yes?
When you say press the thigh forward, do you mean like, this is going to be weird to explain, but like...
It's like this. It's like instead of the leg swinging back and you bend the knee, what tends to happen is the thigh pulls back. You're pushing the thigh forward, but kicking your foot back into your hand. So the thigh stays in line with the hip.
Okay.
So it's not swinging back behind you.
It's not swinging forward either.
No, because that's what'll pull you off kilter. Good question. You want to try it? Everyone has something they want to do. Also, if you saw that and you're like, I'm done, I want to lie down, please feel free to lie down. We're going to meet you there in a moment after we do right and left. But take breaks, rest, I'll talk you through it, and we'll see where it takes us. The last of the shape-shifting, not demon, but demon. So make your way to down dog. Take a couple of breaths. as you let yourself arrive. Slow and steady your next inhale in, and exhale to let all of that breath go. And now on your next breath, float the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your back heel down, and on your inhale, rise, warrior two, facing the long edge of your mat. Offer it to your breath. As you look away from the ground, take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale. Look away from the floor as you bend into that front thigh. Now press the right leg straight. Right fingertips to your block or the floor on the outside of your right leg as the left arm reaches to the sky. Give the legs a pull in towards each other. Guide your right knee open towards your right pinky toes. And as you push down into the right arm, reach the left arm 1 more inch to touch the sky. Half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, left hand to your hip, look down to the floor. And as you heel toe your back foot towards the front of your mat, walk your right hand way far forward and off to the right. Lean into your block, lean into your fingertips, and lift your left leg up off the ground. Now remember, instead of left leg behind you, flex the foot and let your left toes reach towards your friend right in front of you. Lift the left inner thigh up, stay here, or you might bend your left knee, reach your left hand back for the left foot. Press the left thigh forward, kick your foot back into your hand, look to the floor for balance, or you might start to slowly turn your chest open to the left. 1 more breath in, stay for the breath out, and then inhale to release, arm and leg. Soften the right knee just enough to tap it back, the left foot back. Plant your palms and take it back to downward facing dog. Stay here. Take a breath or two in child's pose, or for Vashisthasana, check to see that your left hand is as wide as the left side of your mat. Pivot your heels to the left and turn your toes to the right. Good, you can always step your right foot halfway forward as you lift your hips higher. Or as the higher you lift your hips, the lighter that right leg might become. You might hold your right knee or your shin. You might hold your right calf or your ankle. And as you push your left palm down and forward, lift your hips up even higher, and turn your belly open to the right. Whee! Inhale to unwind, release the leg, lower the hand, lift your hips to the sky, and offer it to your breath. Beautiful. Stay here. Maybe you move through that linking vinyasa. Maybe you take a few breaths on your knees, but 3 steady breaths to gather yourself back before we go to the second and last side. Slow down your next breath in and clear the exhale out. And now from down dog, float the left leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your back heel to the floor, and on your inhale, rise, warrior two on the second side. Take a breath. Feel both feet on the ground. Stretch out through the fingertips and look away from the floor as you take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. Now press the left leg straight. Reach out through the fingers. Triangle pose, left hand to your block or the floor, in or outside of that front leg. As the left hand touches the ground, reach the right arm up to the sky. Take a big breath in. Stay for that exhale. And now Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Look down to the floor. Heel toe your left foot, your left hand forward and slightly off to the left. And as you lean into your block, lift the right leg up off the ground. Flex the right foot, straighten the right knee. And as you kick back through the right heel, slide the ears back. Stay here, or maybe you bend your right knee, reach your right hand around to hold on to the right foot. And as you hold the foot, push your foot back into your hand and turn your belly and chest open to the sky. Take one more breath in. Stay for your exhale, and then inhale to long limbs. Release the foot, bend your left knee just enough to step it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels one at a time and notice what you feel and see. And now stay here, or for this last Vashisthasana, walk your right hand to come as wide as the right side of your mat. Turn both heels to the right, toes to the left. You might step your top left foot halfway forward as you lift your hips higher to the sky. Or maybe you lift your hips so high that that left foot gets lighter. You might let your left hand catch your left shin, your left calf, or your ankle. And as you push through your right palm, spin your belly and chest open to the sky and lift your hips higher. Whee! Inhale to release. Lower hand and foot back to the earth. Take it back to downward facing dog. And now everyone lower your knees to the ground. Knees wide, feet towards each other as you take a breath or two in child's pose or full pranam laying on your belly with a pillow with your hands. Let your knees be wider than your belly so that you can nestle between the legs. Your arms can be out in front of you, or you might even wrap your hands around your knees to give yourself a hug. But with your head on the earth or on a block, or on many blocks, let the jaw soften, let the tongue soften, let the belly be full, steady, and heavy. Take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. And now on your next inhale, press yourself up through to tabletop. Come to lie on your back with your head facing the front of the room, feet facing the wall behind you. Before you officially come to lie down, I can bring these things to you if you don't have any. Have a strap close by and have one of your therapy balls close, or your set of therapy balls close by as well. If you need those, raise a hand and I can bring them over to you. And then you can come to lie down. And once you're on your back, bend your knees, bring both feet onto the floor. Let your arms rest either on your body or alongside of you like an upside down V. And with your feet wide, knees wide, take a big breath in and a longer breath out. Okay. Take another full breath in through the nose and a big exhale to let all of that breath go. You need some? Yeah. Here you go. Anyone else need therapy balls? So begin to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Bend your knees, let the knees drop to the right, and then let your knees drop to the left. Do that a few times. This next few rounds, can you go at tempo with your breath? So every time you inhale, the knees come up through center, and long, steady exhales out as your knees drop to the other side. Let the belly, the hips, the back of your head be soft against the earth. And after going back and forth a few times, once you've gone evenly, draw your knees and feet back through center. Give the right leg a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest. Make some circles with that right foot or ankle. Try and spread the toes, point the toes. Spend a lot of time on the feet, just see what it feels like to have them off the floor. And now find your strap and bring it around like a big jump rope, the ball of your right foot or the arch of your right foot. Less about how deep of a twist we can be in now, but how much can your upper back really settle to the earth? So with enough slack on the strap, let your elbows touch the ground on either side of your body. Let the knee be bent for a moment, and as you flex the foot, press your thigh away from your belly button towards the back of the room. And now begin to straighten the right heel up towards the sky. Can you have enough slack on the strap that your elbows tap the earth? You okay without a strap, or do you want one? Yeah, absolutely. Shrug your shoulders to your ears and snuggle your shoulder blades towards each other. Can you breathe into the back of your chest? Take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. Here you are. And now straighten your left leg long out in front of you if it's not already. Bring both edges of the strap into just your left hand. We won't be going in for a twist where the left leg goes to the right or the right leg goes to the left, but bring your right palm to your right thigh, the top of your right leg, and give yourself a little pressure. Push your right thigh away from your belly, wrap your right hip away from you. And as you wrap the right hip away from you, 1 inch at a time, let the right leg move to the left. as you flex through those right pinky toes. You'll feel this on the outside of your right leg. Can you press your right thigh away from your belly button? Shrug your right shoulder up and back. And as you press back through your head, take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. Okay. Now on your inhale, draw the right leg back up through center. Bend the knee and slip it out from the strap. Lower the right foot down. You can just drape your strap across your belly and give the left leg a hug in towards your belly or chest. Make some of those circles first with the left foot or ankle. Spread the toes, point the toes. Notice what any sensation in the bottom of your foot feels like. And now as you draw the left foot back through center, find your strap once again. Bring it around the left foot. And with the knee bent to start, shrug your shoulders to your ears and snuggle those shoulder blades together. Give yourself enough slack on the strap so that the elbows can touch the earth. You can really get lots of your upper back down on the ground. And as you straighten your left leg to the sky, if you haven't already, take a big breath in and a longer breath out. Can you breathe into all of those points touching the floor behind your head, behind your shoulder blades, behind your hips? And now either keep that right leg straight or keep it bent. But if you're straightening the right leg, go for it now. Bring both edges of the strap into just your right hand and bring your left palm to the top of your left thigh or your left hip. And give yourself a little manual pressure. Press the thigh away from your belly towards the back of the room. And as you move that left foot to the right towards the door you came in, 1 inch at a time, flex through those left pinky toes. Keep wrapping the left outer hip away from your left shoulder. And as you shrug the left shoulder up and back, take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. Breathe. Now on your inhale, unwind, draw the leg back through center, release it from the strap, give both knees a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest. Stay still, or you can make some small circles on your low back, maybe moving your knees in clockwise or counterclockwise. You might lean ever so slightly from side to side, but feel the back of your head, feel your low back and your tailbone heavy against the earth. As you take one more breath in, on your exhale, release the hold of your legs. I'm going to talk you through therapy balls in the glutes this evening. If there's any other region that you know that your body prefers, you're more than welcome to take this time to work at your pace. But if you'd like to work therapy balls in the glutes, you can take them out of their tote, bend your knees, and bring both feet onto the earth. And now lift your hips up just enough to pop the therapy balls to the top of your butt cheeks on either side of your tailbone, either side of your sacrum, at the very upper fibers of your tush. If they feel like they're in the bones of your low back, you might bring them slightly lower, but there's no wrong place for them to go, just somewhere you can breathe and be curious about. Once you find somewhere interesting, let your arms fall anywhere they fall, on your body or alongside of you, as you take a bigger breath in and open your mouth to let all of that breath go. Now keep your feet where they are as you sway your hips an inch or two to the right and let your knees move to the left. And then hips to the left as your knees move to the right. And as you swivel your butt from side to side, sway your tush from one side to the other, feel those therapy balls moving along the upper fibers of your glutes. There might be a spot that feels different than others. They might get wider. You might use your hands to bring them closer. But wherever you are, can it be an offering to your breath, a deeper breath in, and even open your mouth to let that breath go. And now after a few rounds in the upper fibers of your tush, come back through center and let your hands lower the therapy balls an inch or two so you're in the middle of your butt. Once you find this new place, slightly lower than where you just were, start them pretty close together because they'll eventually get wide. Let your arms fall anywhere they fall as you take a big breath in and open your mouth to let that breath go. Then start that slow swivel again. Sway your hips to one direction and knees to the other, and vice versa. And as you zigzag your hips and knees from side to side, feel those therapy balls moving along the middle fibers of your tush. What you'll start to notice is that the more you swivel your hips, the wider the therapy balls are getting. And eventually they'll come more towards the outer seams of your tush, the outer edges of your hips. Let them stay there nice and wide, but draw your knees back through center. And now walk both feet to the left side of your mat and drop just your right knee to the right so that right therapy ball finds its way into your outer right butt cheek. Any sighs, any sounds, anything that needs to come out. But as you unclench the fists and fingers and jaw, take a big breath in and exhale out through parted lips. Let all of that breath go. Not shape-shifting water buffalo demons, but therapy balls in your glutes. The most powerful weaponry you have is the fluency of your breath. Can you feel it here? And as you come back through center, draw the right knee back, draw both feet back, walk your feet to the right side of your mat, and with that left therapy ball in your outer left tush, just drop your left knee to the left. Soft fists, soft jaw, soft tongue, widen the eyebrows as you slow and steady your breath down. And on your next inhale, draw your knees and feet back through center. Use your hands and pop the therapy balls out from the weight of your butt and just let your tush drop down onto the ground. Can you take a breath into what you don't see with your eyes, but you can so clearly feel? Now as those therapy balls fully exit and release them to the sides, we'll make our way towards Shavasana next. So this is your time if you want to take any final gentle movements or add or remove any layers or props or let your hair down or let glasses off to the side. Hi, sleepy bunny, you want a bolster? Okay, if you want it, I'll take it back. I just don't want to take it back now. Take a few breaths. Take a few moments to get as comfortable as you possibly can. Feel free to let your hair down. Let your glasses set safely off to the side. And if there's anything you can do for yourself to become even 2% more comfortable than you are already, please feel free to take it. It might be a rolled up blanket underneath your knees to clear space in the low back. It might be a blanket on top of your thighs or on your belly to help steady you into the earth. But give yourself a moment or two to get as comfortable as you possibly can. And with your eyes softly closed or softly open, begin to listen for your breath. The demon's defeated, the breath remains. Can you let each breath gently dissolve the entire practice that was? Each breath lets you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after makes a little more space for what has yet to come. So as you keep letting each round of your breath let you become heavier into the earth, the heavier you become, the lighter and more spacious you may just start to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a deeper breath out. Take another breath in, down and wide. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. Every one of your exhalations is an offering to this divine breath, to her inhale. And every one of your inhalations is this divine energy pouring herself into you. So as you let your breath begin to awaken the body that you're in, start to take any gentle movements that just feel sweet to you. You might roll your wrists or your ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you tip your head from side to side, heavy against the earth. Or just watching for any props and neighbors around you. You might reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your heart. But when the time comes, we'll all meet with the knees bent, arms overhead, as you roll over to any side of your choice, to curl deep into yourself. And as you push down into the ground, make your way up to rise to your tall seat, the same way we started. With your eyes softly closed or softly open, can you once again listen for your breath? Take a deep breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out in each direction. We'll finish our time and our practice with one another with one more round of that same breath, followed by the sound of one Om to invoke blessings upon ourselves and each other. You can take a moment to gather your hands to center anywhere that may feel for you. Wait for your inhale as it fills you up, and let all of it go. Inhale in for Om. You might bow your head to your hands or gently lift your hands to your head in such a simple yet sincere gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to one another who practiced right alongside with you. And with all of our hearts, Kale and I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Drink lots of water. Take really good care of yourselves and one another. Next couple of weeks over all of October will be different stories of this divine goddess. And I'm also offering it some announcements. I'm also offering it this Sunday of just story time. So if you're interested, I did one about the elephant-headed god Ganesh last month, and it was very sweet. And so this Sunday, from 5:30 to 7, so I was going to say bedtime, maybe my bedtime, but close to bedtime in the downstairs studio. I'd love to see you if anyone you know would be interested. Kale has an announcement.
Oh yeah, I know that Fringe is over, but my dear friend Chris sold out his Fringe show, so he's doing a pop-up at Studio 34 on October 4th. So if you want to go through the river and through the woods.
Oh, yes, across the river, through the woods.
As Anisha says, to West Philly, please check it out and come see me for more information if you're interested.
Yeah, thank you. And then my sweet beloved dad, who's here also, is doing a performance on October 13th at Studio 34 with his friends. He will be playing the tabla, the classical flute. His friend will be playing the harmonium and singing. I heard today that someone's coming to play sitar. So every day something new, but on October 13th, the set list will be finalized. It's free. It's going to be the sweetest thing in the world. He's only announcing it on his private Instagram, but I'm telling every single one of you about it. So if you're free, feel free to come through. It's at Studio 34 on Sunday, October 13th. How are y'all doing? You have any announcements? Any things that you're getting into or doing you want to share with other people? Does not have to be related to yoga. Oh, thank you. Sarah, what's happening with you? What are you doing?
Hi. Kids yoga Saturday.
This Saturday.
It keeps selling out, so if you want to come.
Oh. Oh. What is that?
And family yoga Sunday.
This Sunday.
Yeah. But I'm worried we're going to have to cancel because we only have 2 people, so
Oh.
I'm just
What is
tired to care. Like,
family yoga is family and kid?
yeah. It's an interesting thing. Like, people ask for it, and just no one's signing up.
If on Sunday you're also free, Sarah's here who's teaching family yoga, which is bring your kids, bring your friends' kids.
If you have just
Come.
I'm so tired.
It's on the internet.
11:30. I think it's just going to be like we're going to see
Who comes?
how they're talking.
Yeah.